May 16th, 2014. I would watch a movie that would change my life forever. And that movie was Godzilla 2014. Now you may be wondering, how can a single movie change my life literally forever? Well, today I'm going to tell you exactly how. I'm going to go in depth about my love for the Godzilla franchise, what this franchise really does mean to me, and what the character of Godzilla itself really means to me, and how much this franchise in particular has impacted my life so much. But before I go in depth on Godzilla himself, I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and how we got to this point. So I was born and raised in Omaha, Nebraska, and growing up I did not live in the best places. My parents got divorced around the time I was 5 years old, and we moved out of our house in the suburbs to me and my mom living in an apartment that was not in the best area. And I never really had a true passion when I was a kid. The closest I really had was dinosaurs, but when you're a kid, you like anything that's big and cool, like dinosaurs and trains and shit. But even when it came to dinosaurs and stuff, I never really was passionate about them. Or at least not as passionate as I would come to be with dinosaurs and other things in my life, like Godzilla. Like, me and my mom were kind of just alone in the world for the most part. We had our family, but for the most part, it was kind of just me and my mom. I also had no friends around this time, because after we moved into the apartment, I moved schools and kind of lost all the friends I had in my previous elementary school. And before Godzilla, there actually were some franchises I was just starting to get into, like one in particular, being Transformers. Because around the time of Godzilla 2014 was also Transformers Age of Extinction, the first Transformers movie in my memory that I actually watched. I might have watched pieces of the '07 film and Revenge of the Fallen, but I don't remember when I saw those for the first time. But that's when I was getting into little things like Marvel as well was one of the things I was getting into. I was getting kind of back into dinosaurs a little bit, and I always liked watching like cartoons and other little kid shows that I would always watch on TV, like Wild Kratts, Curious George, and just the other stuff you'd watch as a kid, right? But the only real constant thing that I knew I liked in my life was animals. Like, ever since I was born, I always loved animals, and that I think I'm going to save for a topic for another video, because that is one thing that I really truly love in my life that I feel like I don't get to speak enough about on the internet. But this video is about Godzilla, so let's get back on track. I told you these videos aren't scripted, so I'm gonna go off tangents every now and then. But anyways, yeah, we were living in the apartment, had no friends, was not doing the best mentally. My mom told me at one point that I literally told her I didn't want to live anymore. Bear in mind, I was basically 7 years old at this time. I have no idea why I told my mom that, and I don't know where that thought ever came from. I feel like I should have been too young to even have that thought cross my mind. But yet, she tells me that that's what happened. But then something happened around 2013. My mom started dating this guy that would become my stepdad. It was literally a miracle that he was able to find my mom, because before then I had no siblings, no friends, but then I met his daughters who became my sisters, and we instantly became friends. But obviously over time things happen, but we're all good now. They are my sisters, but when you're merging families, tension is bound to build. But yeah, after only about a year, we were living with them, and everything was going up in the world for us. I finally moved to a new school, and since I was still young and had the confidence of a kid, I was still able to somehow make friends. I was still not exactly a popular kid. I was still kind of quiet. Of the friends I had, it was a very small, tight-knit group of people, which most of them I'm actually still friends with to this day. Y'all know who you are. Love y'all. So by this time we had moved in and I'd made new friends and everything. It was around March of 2014. And trailers and TV spots started coming out for this movie coming up called Godzilla. And I remember being terrified of the trailers because at the time I still hated horror movies and was just so scared of anything that was horror related, and this movie looked like a horror movie to me, so I was like, I'm not watching that shit. That's gonna scare me. But for some reason, I still wanted to see it. I think it was just because Godzilla was a giant dinosaur and I was like, ooh, it's a dinosaur, Mom, I wanna go see it. Which, tangent, funny enough, when I was a kid, I hated movies in general because they were super loud and would scare me. Like, my mom had to get refunds constantly because I would always be afraid to go to a theater. Like, I have one distinct memory of going to a theater to see Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs and just crying and running out of the theater. But anyways, my mom still took me to see this movie and something snapped. I instantly fell in love with this movie, whatever it was, and when I first watched it, I don't remember my first watch, but I don't remember adoring the film like I do now, or adoring the monsters like I do now. And not long after I watched the film was when my mom got me this fella, my first ever Godzilla figure, the Jakks Pacific 3 feet tall Godzilla. And this thing is my baby. It's technically not my oldest figure because I have figures from like the 90s and the 80s technically, but he's still my first, so I consider him the oldest. And after that, it was over for me. Like, I went straight down the rabbit hole of Godzilla stuff through YouTube and watching other Godzilla films and stuff like that, learning about the lore, learning about the characters and stuff. And a lot of my knowledge of Godzilla initially came from two YouTubers in particular, Louis Duran and Monster Island Buddies. You Godzilla fans out there know exactly who I'm talking about. With shows like Godzilla Gang and Monster Island Buddies, I just went down the rabbit hole even further, learned about all these characters, and just started watching Godzilla a lot more. Watching AMVs about Godzilla on YouTube, watching like some of my favorite songs at the time, like Monster by Skillet or Animal I Have Become by 3 Days Grace over like Godzilla footage. It's so cringe, but I still love it to this day. So to tell you the truth, I don't know what made me love this franchise so much. I kind of just became a fan overnight. But here's where I'm telling you how this franchise changed my life. Because sure, I loved Godzilla. I loved this franchise, and I was really getting into it. I was really enjoying it. I thought all the monsters were super cool, and watching movie reviews about all the movies I thought was super fun. But the Godzilla rabbit hole led me down a whole different rabbit hole. And that was movies in general. Because sure, you grow up with the same films like Disney films, Pixar films, and since I'm a dinosaur fan, obviously I grew up with like Jurassic Park and other documentaries on National Geographic and stuff about dinosaurs. But I was never a big fan of movies in general. Because like previously stated, I hated going to the theater as a kid because it would scare me. But Godzilla almost made me mature as a movie fan, because after Godzilla is when I got into Transformers more, when I got into Marvel a lot more, when I started to get back into dinosaurs and actually loving them again, when I actually started collecting. I genuinely credit Godzilla for making me a movie fan. Because when I was that young, I would just rewatch the same shit over and over and over again. Like Fast 5 would rewatch all the time. Or like I used to watch a lot of the classic Disney princess movies as a kid, like Princess and the Frog, Beauty and the Beast, stuff like that. Or any of like the other Disney movies like Lion King, or just other Disney projects and DreamWorks projects like that. But I would never branch out. I would never try new things. Godzilla made me try new things because I was scared of this movie. I was terrified of seeing what this monster was until I saw the movie. And then I fell in love with it. So I started watching the other Transformers movies again. I started watching like the Christian Bale Batman movies because, I mean, by that time The Dark Knight Rises already come out, and I think by that point I had also already seen like The Dark Knight Rises, I think Begins I had seen by that point, but I don't remember rewatching those movies as much when I was that young, which Hot take, Dark Knight Rises is my most rewatched of the trilogy, and I think The Dark Knight is a little overhyped, but it's still a great movie. But anyways, after Godzilla 2014, I watched the other Transformers movies. I started to actually get into Marvel like consistently because Age of Ultron was coming out the year after that, which became another one of my favorite Marvel movies. I watched the other previous Marvel projects and stuff like that and got into those. I watched Pacific Rim for the first time, which is still one of my favorite movies of all time. And I think I actually watched the first like 3 or 4 Fast and Furious movies all the way through by that point. Because by the time Godzilla 2014 came out, I watched like Fast 5 over and over again, and I was hyped for Furious 6 when it came out and all that. But again, I didn't branch out very much. I kind of just stayed with the same movies. And now I'm at the point where I've seen so many different movies at this point and still have so many classics I have to watch. Like, I didn't watch Back to the Future until a few days ago, and that's all because I wanted to go see a movie about a giant radioactive dinosaur back in 2014. Which also, that giant monster made me realize how much I love collecting. It's very expensive, of course, especially now, but I love having these little versions of my heroes, essentially. Because if we want to get a little more personal, Godzilla is the character I turn to when I want to give up. Because Godzilla to me is a personification of the phrase never give up. Because in every Godzilla movie, not counting Godzilla 1998, Godzilla doesn't give up. He faces every threat head on, no matter how powerful it may be, and he never backs down. And I try to apply that same mentality to life, and I try to tell people the same thing, because you should never truly give up. Because what if you were just right there at what you wanted, and you just gave up? Or even if you did fail, try again. That is Godzilla's mentality, and I love that mentality. Because I'm a very insecure guy that has like no self-confidence and pretty much hates himself. But Godzilla, in a sense, kinda makes me feel more powerful. And I know that's like a childish way to look at it or whatever. That's like the videos of saying, oh, how Luke Skywalker saved my life or whatever. But it's true. This radioactive dinosaur right here completely changed my life. And probably is the reason I'm sitting here talking to you right now. Now, I could go on a whole rant telling you about all my thoughts and opinions on almost every Godzilla movie imaginable and all the characters, and basically I could talk about Godzilla for literal days, but I'm not going to let you suffer through that. But I guess if you really want that, let me know and I can talk about that, but that's not exactly what this channel's about. This channel's more about me telling you about my life experiences, maybe telling you some advice, maybe just vlogs, I don't know. Just telling you about shit. This video is gonna be a fucking mess. But that's the point of the channel, isn't it? So yeah, shout out to Monster Island Buddies, shout out to Louis Duran for you guys making me essentially Godzilla fans. I'm not the best at really speaking my mind, so if some of the shit I said kinda didn't make sense, that's why. I watched one Godzilla movie, and my life changed forever, and also I got into debt for the rest of my life. And that's basically the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you don't know who I am, welcome to the channel. And if you didn't watch my video explaining the channel, this is basically just gonna be me ranting about shit that matters to me. No real upload schedules, no worrying about a script, no like, just me having an idea and wanting to speak my mind about it. And I just thought I'd give all of you a little insight as to why I love Godzilla so much and why it means so much to me. If you want me to go a little deeper with it, I can, but I'm gonna save that for another video if you really want that. But I also feel like I can't go much deeper than what I just mentioned, you know? I have a few ideas for future videos I can do that I will probably not be uploading on a consistent basis, because again, not what this channel is for. But I will be trying to upload more videos on here soon. Thank you guys so much for hearing me talk about Godzilla and my love for movies for a little bit. I hope you enjoyed it, and hey, come try out life with me. Maybe I can teach you a few things. Yes, I know I'm only 21 years old, but I've been through some shit. as you can maybe tell from this video. So, as I've learned from Godzilla, never give up, like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you soon.